Human respiratory system. Description, parts, function. The human respiratory system is a complex, high-efficiency biological apparatus responsible for gas exchange, supplying oxygen, O2, to the blood and removing carbon dioxide, CO2, waste. It operates through the interplay of anatomical structures, mechanical forces, and neural control to maintain internal homeostasis. 1. Functional anatomy and structure. The system is divided into the upper and lower respiratory tracts, designed for conducting, warming, filtering, and humidifying air. Upper respiratory tract includes the nose/nasal cavity, primary air entry point, filtered by cilia and mucus, mouth, alternative air passage, and pharynx, throat. Lower respiratory tract comprises the larynx, voice box containing the epiglottis to prevent food aspiration, trachea, windpipe, bronchi, and lungs. The tracheobronchial tree. The trachea branches into left and right primary bronchi, which divide into secondary and tertiary bronchi, eventually branching into smaller bronchioles, forming a tree-like structure. Alveoli. The terminal end of the bronchioles, these tiny grape-like air sacs, approximately 150 million per lung, are the functional units of respiration where gas exchange occurs. Thoracic cavity. Lungs are housed in the rib cage, separated by the mediastinum, which holds the heart. The entire thoracic cavity is enclosed by the pleurae, thin membranes that allow the lungs to move smoothly during breathing. 2. Physiology of respiration, breathing. The respiratory system acts as a gas exchange mechanism operating via tidal breathing. Inhalation, inspiration, active process. The diaphragm, main muscle, contracts and moves downward, while intercostal muscles tighten, expanding the chest cavity and decreasing pressure, sucking air into the lungs. Exhalation, expiration, passive process at rest. The diaphragm relaxes and moves back up, shrinking the chest cavity and forcing air out, powered by the natural elasticity of the lungs. Pulmonary gas exchange, external respiration, occurs at the alveoli by passive diffusion. Oxygen moves from alveoli into pulmonary capillaries, and CO2 moves from blood to alveoli. Tissue gas exchange, internal respiration. Oxygen moves from capillaries into cells, and CO2 moves from cells into capillaries. 3. Key physiological mechanisms. Mucociliary escalator. The larynx, trachea, and bronchi are lined with ciliated epithelial cells and mucus, trapping dust and bacteria and moving it up to the pharynx to be swallowed. Alveolar surfactant. Type 2 cells in the alveoli secrete surfactant, reducing surface tension to prevent alveolar collapse during exhalation. CO2 and pH regulation. The system acts as a buffer to maintain blood acidity by regulating CO2 removal, ensuring the body does not become too acidic. 4. Neural control and regulation. Breathing is primarily automated by the brainstem, but can be voluntarily influenced. Medulla oblongata establishes the rhythmic pace of breathing using the dorsal respiratory group, inspiration, and ventral respiratory group, forced breathing. Pons modulates the breathing rate via the pneumotoxic center, prevents overinflation, and apneustic center, prolongs inspiration. Chemoreceptors detect changes in O2, CO2, and pH. High CO2 levels lower pH, triggering faster, deeper breathing to expel the acid-causing waste. 5. AI-driven advancements in respiratory science. AI and machine learning (ML) are transforming respiratory care through advanced automated diagnostics. MDPI. Smart inhalers utilize sensors to monitor usage technique, track adherence, and provide data to optimize treatment for asthma and COPD. Auscultation and digital stethoscopes. AI algorithms can analyze lung sounds to detect crackles and wheezes with high precision, approximately 85 to 90% accuracy, overcoming the subjectivity of traditional stethoscopes. Diagnostic imaging. Deep learning models can quickly interpret chest CT scans and X-rays to identify nodules and lung diseases, including tuberculosis. Ventilation optimization. AI systems, such as VentAI, can optimize mechanical ventilation settings, positive and expiration pressure, tidal volume, in real time, reducing mortality and complications in ICU patients. Predictive analytics. ML models can predict respiratory exacerbations like COPD days before they occur by analyzing sensor data. Organ on a chip. Microfluidic technologies are used to mimic lung function, providing a way to study disease mechanisms and test drugs at a cellular level. 6. Common respiratory disorders. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, long-term obstruction of airflow. Pneumonia, infection of the alveoli, causing fluid buildup. Pneumothorax, air enters the pleural cavity, causing lung collapse. Apnea, cessation of breathing, commonly during sleep.
7. Other functions. Beyond breathing, the system allows for vocalization, speech, via vocal cord vibration in the larynx, and facilitates the sense of smell via the olfactory nerve.